everybody, what's up? I'm Steven, and in today's video I'm going to be giving my review of the most recent PS4 exclusive video game that just came out, Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I gotta say, this is the first, samurai game that I've actually ever played. The closest thing I guess I could say I've played is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That one's more that game leans more toward sneaking and stuff. This one's actually one where you kind of, I guess it's more fun to sort of come out and just attack people head on. So I'm just gonna get into what I like and dislike about this game, which there's not many things I actually dislike. I honestly can't even think off the top of my head if there is anything I don't like about this game. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm obsessed with it now. That's all I've been playing these past few, since it came out, the past couple weeks or however long it's been now. I bought it the second day it came out, I think, and I'm just loving it. I mean, I have nothing really bad to say about it. So let's get into it. First of all, one thing I like about the game is, like I said, it sort of encourages these head-on fights, because what's more fun than fighting people with a sword? I mean, it's like living out every kid's fantasy, right? Using a sword and being like a ninja basically and stuff like that. So you're sort of an assassin, but you're not supposed to sort of hide in the shadows, although it gives you that opportunity. But the fighting is a lot of fun to do. I'm just having fun. I just run up to people and let's get into this. Let's start it. I do a little bit of sneaking in the video or in the game, but not too much. I try to just, if it prompts you to sort of, jump out and attack people or hide, then that's what I'll do. There's certain areas where they have hostages and stuff, and if they catch you, they'll start to run toward the hostage like they're gonna kill them, and that makes it a little bit more challenging, because you have to go and stop that person, because if they do it, you got to start all over again. But in the aspect of actually stepping out of the shadows and sort of fighting people, it's more encouraged in this game. It's more fun that way. But if you're a fan of sneaking games, it does have that as well. It eventually throughout the game, you start to get things you can use to sneak around. You throw wind chimes or these other things that cause distractions, and then people go to where you want them to go, and then you can sneak past them or attack them or whatever. But um, I like more of the head-on stuff because it's just so much fun, and you get different stances to do, depending on who you're fighting. If you're fighting a person with a shield or swords or a daggers and things like that, spears, whatever. There's different moves or stances that you have that work better against each one. So that was sort of unique as well. Um, I've never seen that really in a game before. I guess that makes it really lifelike almost, because that would be how a samurai would fight. I guess they'd have to adjust themselves accordingly in a battle, um, and protect themselves depending on what kind of person they're fighting against and everything. Um, so that's one of the things I like about it, how lifelike it is, and how you actually are encouraged to go head on with everybody or everyone you come in contact with. Occasionally, you do meet other characters that will help you with that, but mostly it's by yourself. And I'm having a lot of fun just with the sword fighting in general. Another thing I really like about this, and I think it's the most unique thing I've seen in video games in a long time, is the way that you can manipulate the wind. Now, it's not in terms of battling or anything, but the way you can manipulate the wind guides you to where you're trying to go. So rather than when you set a waypoint, the wind leads you there. There's no mini map to follow. Kind of like on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there wasn't really a mini map, but you have a path that it shows you a path, and you can just guide your horse there, make your horse take you there by itself, or you could fast travel if you've been there already, whatever. But this is more the wind blows in a direction, you follow it, then you swipe up on the keypad on your PS4 controller, and it will, or not the, well, yeah, the keypad, whatever the thing in the middle is called, and you rub up on that, and then, the wind will blow again, and it guides you, and it actually is it's not like nobody else in the game can see the wind either. Like the trees blow, the leaves around you blow. So that's what was really cool as well. It wasn't just like this fake thing, like only you can see the guiding wind and stuff like that. Like it does blow things around and stuff. Nobody really like acknowledges it necessarily. Like enemies don't know you're coming if you're blowing the wind toward them. But like I just thought it was really unique that they even have that in the game, and it's something to follow that's different. You know. Rather than like Red Dead 2 had a mini map and you follow the red line and everything else. This one doesn't have that. And I find that sometimes it's more challenging because you get to a certain area and you're like, well, now I got to go up this cliff, so I got to get off my horse, and then you got to find a way around and things like that. And I've jumped off a few cliffs by accident before because just following the wind, you know. But that's what I mean. I thought it was really unique and well thought out, that the wind could be your guide. It's sort of like a spiritual thing. Like basically, it's almost like someone's spirit is guiding you there. I'm not going to spoil anything really, but why the wind, I guess, would be guiding you. But there's not really. I don't think there's really a story behind it. But yeah, I just thought that was unique. They also give you other things to follow as well. Like there's fox dens that will, if you follow the fox to a statue type thing, you can actually like he'll sort of like bow to the statue and stuff, and then you get like a special unlock thing. There's yellow butterflies. I forget what they lead to, but if you follow them, it takes you to a certain thing. There's like everything you can find in that game is hidden somewhere, and if you haven't found it on the map yet, it'll actually like there's animals that will lead you to it. You follow the birds to get somewhere, or like I said, the butterfly and the fox. I think there's like one other thing that you can follow that will actually um, lead you to something, or the one outfit that you can wear will actually, like the controller will start to vibrate if you're near a special item or whatever, things like that. So it's stuff like that that makes this game so immersive, and that's another thing I love about it, is that finding things and exploring is really fun because it makes you want to find these things. Like some of these are items that you need throughout the game. Like you might find a new, or just like an upgrade for your one of your weapons or your outfits, or your armor, or whatever. And other things are just like um, it's just like little bonus activities that you can do if you just wanted to kind of enjoy the game and just free roam explore. Um, and speaking of free roaming and everything, I'm really loving the free roaming too. Now the map in this game isn't necessarily that big. It's not definitely not as big as like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Red Dead 2 by any chance, but it still seems pretty big, like when you're actually in the game, rather than just the map itself is kind of small, like it's just tall area and that's it. But when you're actually in the game, it feels like you're going on forever and ever and ever. Which is a lot of fun because there's so much to explore that every building you pass probably has like a little bit of supplies in it, or has something there that you want to stop and explore, but you might pass it by accident during a mission, or just feel like going there right now, and it kind of encourages you to want to go back and look at it again. Um, and there's just a lot of areas throughout this game too. Like even with as small as this map is, everything is like there's either vast open fields of flowers that you can go through, or there's enemy territories all over the place, like little camps and things like that for you to go into, and you take out the enemies and then they become your sort of camp. Like your people move in and they overthrow the Mongols, as they're called. That's the enemies in this game. And then your group moves in, and now you have that spot that you can now fast travel to, and it actually stays there. Like the enemies don't come back. I mean, right away, there is something that happens in game that the enemies will come back to those areas, I think. But you just take them back again. But, I mean, there's just so much to do in this game, and that's what I like about these types of games. Like, you want to free roam, you want to do. There's all kinds of side quests to do, there's extra little bonus missions that give you cool armor, or like a new move to do and things like that. Those are some other those are, I think they're called like uh, legendary quests or something along those lines. Um, but those are really fun to do as well. The whole game in and of itself wants you to sort of explore these things. Like if you want to complete all the main missions right off the bat and finish the game really quickly, then that's on you. You go ahead and do that. If you want to go to each little individual area, because there's always a person or two in each of these little areas that might give you another side quest. Like you find a question mark, you go to that area, then there's like a person there you can talk to that now they have a little side mission, or they try to direct you toward one of those hidden items I was talking about earlier. Um, and so it kind of makes you want to go there. It's just like on Red Dead Redemption 2 where you might find a new weapon, or Assassin's Creed Odyssey where you'll find different loot or whatever. That's what makes these types of games so great. And then this one, you have it mixed with being a samurai and everything else. And the story of the game is what really intrigues me the most, because it basically boils down to you're a samurai, you have a code you want to live by, where you just go, they fight head on, like I mentioned earlier, rather than sneaking through the shadows and everything else. But so at some point during the game, you learn that you're going to have to sort of disregard these like laws and rules that you grew up with being a samurai, and kind of throw that aside in order to survive. And that's kind of a struggle of the character, um, Jin Sakai, which I find intriguing because he's got this, it's like an internal struggle. Like he's thinking, well, what is my uncle and my family going to think of me since I'm throwing away these samurai ethics that they go by, and the code, their code of honor, and now he's breaking this honor. But it's also to survive, so it's kind of a nice little character struggle there. And then the characters he meets throughout the game as well have their own things that are going on. Like one of them has their brother is missing, and if you help her, she'll help you. Things like that. That's what makes it so fun to play. It's like all these character interactions, the character development throughout the whole game. Like the more that you actually like sneak around and attack people from like the tall grass and stuff, rather than facing them head on, it's sort of like, I mean, it doesn't really actually affect anything, but I feel like it could too. Like maybe by the end, I haven't even gotten to the end of the game yet. I'm not even close, but I feel like maybe by the end of the game, if it kept track of like all the times that you snuck up on enemies rather than facing them head on, like it subtracts your honor or something like that. I don't know how that would, how it would work exactly, but yeah. So there's his internal personal struggle is like, how do I keep up with this samurai code that I've known all my life, but also try to survive in this world overthrown by Mongols that I now have to fight for and defend. And one last thing I want to talk about is the use of the weapons. I'm really enjoying like using the sword and everything. I mean, he has a sword. He has like a dagger that, for when you sneak up behind people. He has these little throwing. I forget what they're called. Kunais, I think they're called. Um, they're like little throwing knives that help during battles where you're facing multiple people all at the same time. That's a lot of fun to use. I think that's my favorite one, and I've like upgraded it a lot so that it does more damage when you throw them. You get like sticky bombs that will you throw them at people and they blow them up and everything else. So many unique weapons that sort of play into that being a samurai thing. Like you could either use this or just fight head on with with the sword or whatever. Like whatever you're willing to risk. Like I've only died a few times in this game so far. The rest of it's just been like it's there's a lot of strategy to it too. Like I'm going into this area. Do I want to sneak around or try and find a way to sneak around and take people out one by one silently? Or would I rather just risk it all and take down this whole camp head on? Which I've run into problems with that. Like I'm sneaking and then I get seen and now I gotta fight like several people, which happens in these types of games. That's why I like these so much. Um, but yeah, so there's so much to do in this game. I'm loving every minute of it. I hope you guys are too, and I would highly recommend this game. if I were to give it like a ranking, I'd give it like a 5. I'd give it a 5 out of 5, I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really. Maybe a few glitches here and there. I think, like, one time I think there was like a bird um, that's supposed. It's like an enemy bird that can spot you and alert them that they're here, and it was like stuck in the ceiling of a building or something, so I couldn't take it out. But other than that, I mean, I haven't seen too many other glitches with it. And I'm just having a lot of fun playing it. It's an enjoying experience. It reminds me a lot of Assassin's Creed and a little bit of Red Dead 2 in there, and even some. I'd say it's also kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn, sort of just with like the climbing the rocks mechanics. Like you can't just climb anything like on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There's certain rocks that you can climb and everything else. It reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn a little bit, which is another game I've been enjoying. I haven't beaten that one yet either, but maybe someday I will. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you enjoying this game? And be sure to like this video, subscribe for more like this because I love playing video games and I'll be talking about more in the future. Check out some of our gameplay footage we've done from like Call of Duty and Rocket League, things like that. Um, and have a good week, everybody. Take care.